my name is Lise Quinn. I'm the editor of the Beltane Papers, a journal of women's mysteries, and I'm here on a tour of Salem. The Beltane Papers is a goddess-oriented publication, goddess, feminist, political. We are the oldest continuously published goddess magazine in the United States. Our focus is indeed those three things: the goddess, the feminist, and the political, because it is all political in the end. We have articles by several different authors that are well known, from Z Budapest to Patricia Monahan to just all kinds of people. Think of their names. But we also in colleges' databases, EBSCOhost and ProQuest. So we ourselves used as a research tool. We do everything from the scholarly kind of presentations or articles to the fun crafts kind of thing to sort of self-experiences, you know, what people go through in their lives and such. Our last issue was about Frau Holly and spinning in different concepts and metaphors, and so you know, we'll get a tangent like that going, and it's a lot of fun. But the magazine pretty much is a being of its own. It's not something I can drive or anybody can say it's going to be about this. We start off with an intent, and it evolves into what it's just going to be. And it's been that way since it started. There's no, you like to think you have control, you don't have control. You serve, you provide the publication service, you put it together, but she's in charge when it comes to that. Lately we've tried to move it more towards a community-oriented publication. I mean, it always was, but trying to draw in our readership to engage, to participate, more than information sort of going one way, which is working. We have readers now that are introducing themselves instead of like letters to the editor. We have all about us, and I think that's going to help build that bond between everyone. And we're a printed publication, and our intent is going to stay that way because not everybody has the internet, and we reach people, and they can pass it on to people who can't even afford it, and so it's not like it's expensive these days, but it serves a bigger group than one might think, and that's always feels good. The origins it started with a woman named Helen Farias, and she was pretty much just writing a little gazette for her and her friends, maybe, and it just started growing a little bit, and growing a little bit more, and then it still was a newsletter format, and then she unfortunately developed cancer and had to put it down for a while, and then she went into remission and picked it back up, but remission didn't stay long, and so she passed on, and Waverly Fitzgerald became the editor, and so she was the editor for probably about 15 years, I would say, from the early 80s to 1996. And at that point, it's time for people to move on, and they want to change what they're doing. They don't want to do the same old thing. And it was ready for a lot of the people that were involved at that point to move on, and they left it to myself and Marion Thompson-Helland, who became the editor since 1997, which gave it a great flavor. It's always been a Northwest, Bellingham kind of feel, which is a sort of, how do you say it, grassroots kind of community. It's not, there's a college, it's a college town, things like that, so you get a feeling for that. But now I live in Kirkland, and it's the college that I'm associated with is the University of Washington, so I have bigger resources for as far as getting information, and that's been great. Some of the people that Susan Weed has worked with us, just Carol Christ, just people that are well known in my community, and I'm realizing on the East Coast maybe I'm missing something, because there doesn't seem to be quite the familiarity until I start pulling books off of people's shelves. This woman, and that is the one thing that can be contentious. All our articles and artwork are from women only, and the reason being is that men have had a voice for a very long time, and they still have a place for their voice. Our mission statement is a place where women can celebrate and express and experience the spiritual without, what do you call it, people deciding it's good or bad. Not criticism. Criticism is okay, but condemnation. and to share that, to find a safe place to share their experiences. My background is very eclectic. I've been involved in witchcraft, not Wicca, and I know that people blend those two things, but they're not the same. there's different rules even. But my grandmother was a witch, and then my great-grandmother, and then the one before that, who was from New Orleans, and she was involved with Marie Laveau as a cohort, you might say. But that particular kind of magic, voodoo and such. And so as it grew and came down, we got a little Scottish influence and a little Hindu influence. My mother studied Hinduism, and so it's just sort of, like I said, an eclectic kind of bringing together of ideas. I'm predominantly, my symbols are Celtic. I'm really comfortable with those. So that's the face that I put on my experience.
And if people would like to know more about the Beltane Papers or where to get them, where would you send them?
Currently we're a subscription only, and you would go to thebeltanepapers.net or contact the editor at thebeltanepapers.net. We're also on Facebook, which has provided a very interesting, another means to communicate and have interaction with people. I was actually kind of surprised because we have like 860 followers now, and so the conversation can get there quicker than you can in a back and forth in a magazine. But still, that's the core of us. We are a printed publication. We'll stay that way.
And how are you finding Salem?
Very interesting. I'll tell you, I probably came here with preconceived notions, and you know, your Halloween has just ended, and so there's still a cheesy factor in some of the places. On the other hand, some really genuine people I've met that just are, the feeling is good about them. They are not trying to get me to buy things necessarily. They're just, you know, they're talking. I've got permission to do interviews and take pictures with that. That's great, because most museums are going, no, you can't take a picture. But what I want to do is incorporate this visit into a article just about the experiences, not so much like a analyzation of what everybody's doing here, but my experience of the people here. And it's just, you know, very good feelings actually. It's smaller than I thought. You know, in my head I expected this much bigger place, and it's a very 16th or 17th, 18th century kind of place, which, you know, we don't have anything like that on the West Coast. We have nothing older than the 1950s, unless it's Native American. But and some of that never made it or survived. There are some aspects of Native American spirituality that I am interested. I find a correlation between that and Celtic mythologies. Mine being the salmon is my one of my archetypes, and similar meanings between the two cultures. It's amazing.
But thank you very much.
Well, thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it.